Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles in what's going to be my last World of Tanks video of 2016. Don't worry, not my last World of Tanks video ever. After this it's just casual Saturday, and then I'm in my Christmas break. I'm taking around about a week off. I'll be back in the new year, and between Christmas and the new year, Rita and I are heading off to New York for a Christmas break. 3 nights in Manhattan. It's going to be fantastic. Ice skating in Rockefeller Plaza, going sledging in Central Park in the snow, chowing down on massive salt beef and pork sandwiches at Katz's Deli in the Lower East Side. Oh, it's going to be glorious. But for now, World of Tanks. So, what do I have lined up for you in the last World of Tanks video of 2016? This is Nosfertanker, and he's in the British Tier 9 heavy tank, the Conqueror. And I noticed that he's in the Rita clan. I thought, hang on a minute, I know somebody called Rita who plays World of Tanks. Any relation? And I went and looked them up, and apparently yes, this is actually a Rita gamer tribute clan. I had no idea. So I got curious and I went to check and see if there were any Mighty Jingles tribute clans, and no, there aren't. Damn you, Rita, more popular than me. It's not a contest, Jingles. Yes it is, shut up. Right, anyway, so the Conqueror. What do you need to know about this tank? Well, the Conqueror is pretty much all about that 120mm L1A1 gun. It is arguably the best gun on any Tier 9 heavy tank, and in some cases, possibly even the best gun on any Tier 10 heavy tank. This gun is fantastic. It's got similar penetration and similar damage output to another Tier 9 heavy tank with an amazing gun, the M103, except the gun on the Conqueror is better, because it's got better accuracy, better gun handling, better aiming time, and a faster reload. And while I've been singing the praises of the... well, that was never going to hit. But oh, he's been spotted, and that's a Lerva and an E75, bounces a shot from the Lerva, wiggles the hull, bounces the shot from the E75 as well. The turret on this tank is very, very nice. 254mm of armour at the front, and it's nicely shaped as well. It's a far superior turret to the M103. As far as mobility is concerned, well, it is still a heavy tank, but it's definitely not a slow one. Top speed of just over 34 km per hour, and plenty of grunt in the engine as well, so fairly decent for a heavy tank power to weight ratio. So what are the downsides with this tank? Well, there are two. The armour's bad. Well, the hull armour is very, very bad. That lower glacis can be penetrated from the front by Tier 8 light tanks. To make matters worse, behind that lower glacis is an ammunition rack. Also, the side and rear armour is terrible. 50mm at the side, 34 at the rear, which means that this tank, and it's a big target as well, it's not difficult for artillery to hit. This tank has just about no high explosive splash damage protection. This gun, however, definitely makes up for it. It's got the fastest rate of fire of any Tier 9 heavy tank. And that rate of fire, in combination with a very tough turret, and the 10 degrees of gun depression, and the power of the Rolls-Royce Griffon engine once you've unlocked it, means that this tank is easily capable of cresting a ridge, using that gun depression to put 2 shots into an equivalent tier enemy heavy on the other side of the ridge, bounce the return shot on the turret, and then pull back before that enemy tank has loaded his second shot. Well, that all sounds fantastic, Jingles, but you said there were 2 downsides to the Conqueror, and so far you've only mentioned the lousy hull armour. Well, yeah. Unlocking this amazing gun is a bit of a pain in the arse. You see, the Conqueror doesn't have access to the 105mm guns that you get on the Centurions. In order to unlock this amazing L1A1 120mm gun, you have to use the 20-pounder guns that you got on the Carnarvon at Tier 8. And having unlocked the Conqueror myself, I can attest to the fact that driving a Tier 9 heavy tank that has a lower caliber gun than most of the Tier 9 or even 8 mediums that you're going to be fighting is no fun whatsoever. One question that I get asked quite often is, Jingles, which tank that you've unlocked was the worst grind that you've ever had to go through? And up until now I would have said, no question, hands down, VK3001P, German Tier 6 medium tank. It's a medium tank that's the same size as, well, in fact it may even be slightly bigger than the Tiger, but it's got no armour whatsoever. Everything that even looks at it penetrates it, and once it's fully upgraded, you've got a gun with 132mm of penetration. Awesome. I look back on grinding through the EK 3001P now that I've played the Conqueror with the 20-pounder gun, and I think, you know what, that shit wasn't so bad after all. A tier 9 heavy with an 83mm gun? God, no. I played 2 games in the Conqueror with the Type B 20-pounder barrel gun, and I said, nope, not doing that anymore, and I just threw 64,003 XP at it, unlocked the L1A1, and didn't regret it for a second. And I'm sure Nosfertanker would agree, that L1A1 is absolutely worth it. This tank is all about the gun, and to a lesser degree the mobility, but it's mostly the gun. I mean, he's done 3,000 damage in this thing so far, and he's blocked over 2,000, mostly with his turret. But artillery haven't really taken any interest in him yet, which is highly unusual when you're in a Conqueror. WZ-120 there. He was lining up, waiting for him to come around the corner, but he took a hit, I think, from the T-54 Mod 1 and backed off. Pumps one right through the lower glacis of the T-26 there, even though he was angled. WZ-120 missed. T-44's up above him. He's probably going to take a hit here, but he wants to finish off the T-26. And the WZ-120 is down as well, and suddenly the enemy team... Oh, hang on. Look at this. Watch this gun. Straight through, clean through the gun mantlet of the T-44. No problem whatsoever with this gun. And it's probably at this point where the enemy team are regretting not capping. They had Nosfer's team all pinned in one corner of the map. They'd overrun the cap circle and they'd just driven straight through it. And, well, capping is now no longer an option for them. 2 artillery, and that is a VK4502P, however. Now, this gun is amazing, but even this gun is going to have problems penetrating that thing. There he is, from the front. Nosfer looked at his last reported position on the map, saw that he was last seen down that low road, running across the middle of the map, thought he might be coming around here, but then he popped up, and he's down there to the south, threatening the T-54 Mod 1. Now, this gun is very, very nice, but a VK4502P from the front, even this gun's going to have problems with that. So he's trying to work his way around the flank and hoping that the T-54 Mod 1 and the artillery can keep him occupied. The M53 does not appear to have been spotted just yet. But watch the way the VK is advancing. He's advancing, he stops. And now he starts pulling back. I think he's just detected the M53. And that's bad news for the M53, because there's a GW Tiger and a 212A on the enemy team, and they've just taken out the T-54 Mod 1. So it's just him, and he does not have a huge amount of health, against a just about full health VK4502P. His only chance is if you can get him from the side or rear. Where did he go? Where did he go? There he is. Oh, and he's got the side. Nice. And watch the M53. Watch this guy go for it. Oh, look at that shotgun. And he's... And most other artillery would not have the speed to be able to do this. He's... Look at this teamwork. He's obviously switched to the APCR for this, because it's a VK. But he's got the side of him again, and that's where he loses almost all of his health to the artillery. But remember, the rate of fire of this gun... No! No! Well, he's blown all of his APCR and he couldn't get through the turret front. Commander's hatch. Got him. And drive. He took 750 damage from the 212A. And the GW Tiger P has to be reloaded by now. But now he should no longer be spotted, and I think he's made it. Yes, there it is. Blind shot from... That must have been the GW Tiger. Wow. That move from the M53, though. What a player. If it wasn't for that M53 putting his man pants on, coming out and shotgunning that VK, then Nosfer would have been killed by artillery. The VK just had too much health. He wouldn't have had the time, even with the rate of fire of this gun, to take him out alone. And, oh, speaking of artillery, there's the GW Tiger, sets up to ambush and does shotgun. Nice ambush there, takes out the M53. Nosfer loaded the Hesh, 500 average damage. Of course, he gets a low damage roll, and it still takes him 2 shots to take out the GW Tiger. But he took him out at a range of 380 metres, and the GW Tiger only has a 350 metre view range, so he didn't get spotted. which is pretty bad news for the 212A, who has to be sitting there loaded and ready to fire, but he's got nothing to shoot at. Nosfer has to be sweating though. I mean, he's got a lot of open ground to cover here, and he only has 122 health. He's got better view range than the 212A, but if he's hiding in a bush, the 212A is going to see him first, and Sixth Sense is going to be the only warning that he has. And with 122 health, that guy, ooh, there he is! That guy just has to land a shell in the same postcode, and he's going to kill him. He's not in a particularly good spot for it, but, well, the 212A will have no problems lobbing a shell over a low ridge like that, so Nosfer starts ducking and weaving, and he screws it up. You had one job, 212A. The 212A's only real chance right now is to attempt to ram the Conqueror as he comes over the ridge. He may survive a collision with the Conqueror on 122 health, but he decides to make a run for it. Once again, the Hesh lets Nosfer down. 500 average damage, he has 460 health, he does 450 damage, but he's easily able to reload a second round, finish the 212A off, and win the match. So that's Ace Tanker, I think that's Spartan there, yep, survive a ricochet or non-penetrating shot from an enemy player while your vehicle has on less than 10% of its hit points, and survive the battle. Steel Wall, high caliber and Top Gun, 7 kills in total. He did just over 6,200 damage in that game. 1,586 base experience, and very well played by the way there, the M53. He only did 1,461 damage in that match and didn't get any kills, but it was the damage that he did when it needed to be done against that VK4502P. Without him, Nosfer would almost certainly have been killed by the enemy artillery. Speaking of enemy artillery, commiserations to Sizdi, the player of the GW Tiger on the enemy team. Definitely the enemy team's MVP, with 3,306 damage done of his own and 4 kills. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank all of the players on the enemy team who insisted on shooting at the front of the turret of the Conqueror, without whom that 3,000 damage blocked by armour and the Steel Wall medal would almost certainly not have been possible. Then again, it wasn't strictly their fault. Nosfer is fully aware of the weaknesses of the Conqueror, that lower glacis with the ammo rack hidden behind it, and he did take pains to keep it covered up wherever possible. And he even made money on this match as well, despite blowing through a couple of rounds of APCR premium ammunition. He didn't make a lot of money, and the only reason he didn't lose money is because he's running a premium account, but still, a profit's a profit. So hooray for not actually losing money in a high-tier battle for a change. And that is my last World of Tanks video for 2016. That's it, no more, at least not until the new year. There'll be a casual Saturday video tomorrow, and then I'm closing up shop, and I'm taking a well-earned Christmas and New Year break. So, have a great Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then just have a great weekend. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.